Hello everyone, and welcome to another edition of the Criterion Connection. I'm Wade.
And I'm Joe.
And we are here to do our last movie of the Halloween season, the spooky season, our spooktacular, our Criterion Connection, our creepy Criterion Connection. We're doing The Face of Another. Yep, we're doing that movie. It's a movie. It's in black and white. It's from the 60s. It's Japanese. This is a Japanese horror film. A lot of weird stuff.
Well,
A lot of...
it's like a Japanese, psychological horror.
Yes, this is not...
Yeah.
This is not like, those type of, 60s,
It's not like Kwaidan or,
Yeah.
or Haosu
Onibaba.
or even, the, other, Western horror movies like Psycho or anything.
Yeah.
This is... You know what actually it reminds me of?
What?
The Invisible Man.
The original Invisible Man.
Yeah, the one from the 40s.
Okay.
Just because you have, the man... He had... So... We follow a man who is in an industrial accident, there's an explosion, and it scars his face. And it's super bad. He wraps it up in gauze and pretty much feels like he is a monster.
Yeah.
And what that leads us into is this movie about identity and figuring out who the self is and how you determine that, because
a lot of people rely on physical appearance, the face, everything else, not inward. They more focus on the outward.
Yeah. So this guy, his face becomes, very scarred, and it propels him into a depression, and he's just he doesn't think anybody cares about him anymore.
Even his wife.
Yeah, they don't really understand him. He doesn't really know who he is, and eventually leads him to a doctor who makes a mask for him that's super lifelike, and it completely starts to alter the man's identity and his personality.
Yeah, it's kind of like if you I forget what it was. No, it was from the movie Evil Eye, Two Evil Eyes. It's the anthology, the story with Mark Hamill has the eye, but it's like the eye of a killer.
Yeah.
So it starts changing him psychologically, and that's kind of what happens here. I'm not saying that the person was a murderer, but it was just one of those things it's changing who he is.
Yeah, and I think of the Invisible Man because of the experiment that they do that makes him invisible. It makes him insane.
Like Hollow Man.
Yeah,
but more classy.
Yeah, it makes him go crazy, and that's kind of the link I see here: the bandages, the losing yourself by changing your appearance, and I think the movie, it's really artsy.
It gives me vibes of Eraserhead.
Yeah.
It's that black and white, Eraserhead, Tetsuo, the Iron Man, stuff like that, where it's obviously, instead of being more body horror, it's more psychological horror.
Yeah.
I mean, they do have some random body parts floating around. They have, the making of the mask is kind of gross.
And it's just there's these real, avant-garde type of shots, like Bergman. There's one shot that reminds me of Bergman where you have, you're looking at the back of the guy with the bad face.
Yeah.
You're looking at his back and you see the gauze, and he's
Okayama.
Okayama. Yeah, so you see his back, but you see the doctor's face looking at him or off to the side, and you only see part of it. It's just really odd, shot choices and composition.
There's also some simple things, in the beginning, you see Okinawa, Okayama He you first see him. He's in a dark room, and he's like looking away. His shadows are kind of hiding his face. It's like the lighting and the cinematography is showing you that he's not in a good place. He's in a dark place.
Yeah.
Literally. And I love how, like, when it's dark and gritty, it's dark and dirty. It's very dark and dirt. But if it's well lit, it's very sterile. Like, the environment's very sterile. Like the lab, where it has like the iconic what the cover is, like he's standing in front of that like the face graph or grid, the lines, like it's very surgical and very sterile, and I think that's really cool. There's also a side plot with the
movie,
the woman.
Yeah, the movie about the girl who lived through the atomic bomb.
Yeah.
And her brother. Yeah.
Yeah, that's in there. I don't know how I feel about it. It just kind of feels tacked on a little bit.
I mean, it's like a parallel story that the characters are delving through, and it's very much kind of informing us on the state of mind of our characters. Yeah. It's really weird. Like it's kind of like the for Watchmen having the Tales of the Black Freighter.
Oh, okay. Yeah, you know what? That's a good analogy. That's a good example.
For those who've read the Watchmen graphic novel.
But yeah, another thing to point out is it's kind of minimalistic, but the score, it really adds to the tone of like a kind of a droning kind of thing going on. Especially when we get to probably my favorite part of the movie is the ending.
Yeah.
Not because it ended, haha. It's more because the ending is haunting.
Yeah, it's very that last couple sequences.
Yeah. When the crowd of people shows up and you're like, oh.
Yeah.
Oh.
I mean, even a little before that, when I think about it when he goes to his wife and he starts ripping off his mask, and she reveals to him, like, I knew it was you the whole time.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
You were just putting on a mask for the good of us, all that stuff. And he just, like, does not believe her, and he's, like, devastated, everything all at once, and he leaves and just goes on a rampage in a way.
Yeah.
Ending up getting arrested, and then the doctor comes and bails him out, and he's like, that whole last part is crazy, and it coincides with the movie that's the parallel story with the sister who ends up walking out in the sea.
Yeah.
And I think that's a very fitting way to conclude that story in a way that represents what we're watching.
Yeah, and then the other story, he walks into a different kind of sea.
Yeah.
A sea of people.
Yeah.
And that part is that's a lasting image in your brain, just like, oh, I remember you texted me last night and you were like, what do you have me watching? Yeah. The only flaws I have for the movie is I think it's a little too long. It's about 2 hours, and I feel like you could have probably trimmed a little bit off that.
It takes a while to really get going, or I should say, there's certain sequences that take a while that probably could have been sped up a little bit. And I just think I like how weird the movie is.
It's got a weird quirkiness to it.
Yeah, and it's almost like I hate to point out like things like the runtime and different aspects I don't really
They're not gay. They're not deal breakers.
Yeah, it's
I'm just saying, if I'm trying to find something, I feel like you could probably trimmed it up a little bit.
Yeah, there's that, and I think maybe just really, like, I don't know. I almost feel like the Okuyama, like, he spends a lot of time whining in the movie, and I feel like there's better ways that it could have been shown.
I think there's another aspect of, we didn't see Okuyama before the accident.
True.
Like, we don't know how he was as a person before. Was he happy-go-lucky? before he changes into this depressing person. Maybe there was like
maybe
there was like some more flashbacks.
What kind of personality did he have?
There's some more flashbacks to see the happy life.
Yeah.
Maybe we could have had, but beggars can't be choosers. This movie is
it's
almost 70 years old. 60.
It's getting close to 60 years old.
Yeah, 60. I know math sometimes. So Joe, the big question is: would you recommend this for the audience in general, and also 31 Days of Halloween movies?
I'd only recommend it for like real diehard fans. The people that are like us that dive deep into the Criterion collection. As a general yay or nay to people, probably not. And even with the Halloween thing, I wouldn't put this in the Halloween like Spooktober movie watching stuff. I mean, it's a really cool, weird movie, and it's, I think, really chilling and has a lot of really cool psychological stuff going on. I just don't see it as like a Halloween staple.
It's fair. I'm probably thinking the same way. I would recommend it generally to people. I think it's weird enough, unique enough to where it's worth watching. Whether you'll watch it again, that's up to you. I would definitely recommend it to people. But I will also agree with 31 Days of Halloween. It's more psychological. To me, Halloween, when I watch if I watch horror movies on Halloween, I want horror. This one's psychological. I mean, it's psychological horror, but not really. It's just kind of a tale of a man that just kind of loses it.
Yeah, it's hard for me to define that edge because there are so many great psychological horror movies that I would throw in there. It's just, I don't know. Something's just missing for me.
Yeah.
To put it in a Halloween.
It's like a movie like we have over here. It's like Combat Shock, where it's not really a horror movie, but the ideas are horror.
Mm-hmm.
Like the idea of you're getting a new face and it's changing who you are and you lose everything, kind of in it.
Yeah, I just, it's weird. Like I can't put my finger on it. Like stuff like Skin I Live In with Antonio Banderas.
Oh.
I'd put that in there.
Okay.
Or like Jacob's Ladder, a well-known psychological horror movie. I definitely put that in a Halloween Spooktober.
In the Mouth of Madness.
In the Mouth of Madness.
Yeah.
But there's just something. There's some sort of missing chemical X.
I think it's because it's very avant-garde.
Maybe.
Instead of quintessential horror. So that's our thoughts on the movie. Let us know in the comments section below what you thought about the movie. Like, subscribe, share everything. Share this channel. Spread the word. And then next week next show we are back to the usual format of, we're not talking about horror movies, we're talking about just general Criterion movies. So please make more suggestions too, because we do the horror movies in October. That's a year from now. Oh my gosh, that's a year from now. So that leaves you a whole year of suggestions, stuff like that. Movies that are coming out. If there's any movies that are coming out, you're like, I don't know if I want to buy them or not. I want to see if the Criterion Connection guys want to talk about.
Yeah.
Let us know.
I always like knowing what other people want us to talk about.
Yeah. Because usually it's us what should we talk about?
Yeah.
What should we watch? And then we just find it. So just suggest stuff so we can have an easier way to choose. So until next time, I'm Wade.
And I'm still Joe.
And we will see you later!